Now, this is going to require some at least moderately heavy lifting. And if you will follow along, this becomes revelatory when we take a look at what is happening at the FBI, what has happened at the FBI, and the efforts to subvert the candidate for President, Donald Trump, and ultimately President Donald Trump. Unredacted texts that reveal how the FBI may have initiated a number of spies into the Trump campaign as early as December of 2015. FBI investigator Peter Strzok, writing to FBI attorney Lisa Page, asked this, quote, and if you'll look at this, "You get all our Oconus lures approved?" Question mark in peculiar smiley face. The word Oconus refers to outside the continental United States. The word lures, which the FBI originally had redacted, refers to FBI recruited spies. Our next guest has first-hand experience running double agent operations while an Army counterintelligence officer. And joining us tonight is the Director of Investigations and Research for Judicial Watch, Chris Farrell. Chris, great to have you with us.
Hello.
This is striking stuff. This sort of lays out, does it not, in very succinct form, what they were all about.
It was an intelligence operation directed against then-candidate Trump. They applied all the tradecraft they possibly could, and they deliberately avoided all the regulatory requirements of the executive order and also the Department of Justice regulations by launching a double agent operation overseas, hence the term Oconus. And in shorthand, these offensive counterintelligence operations, in plain English, that means a double agent operation. And that lure, or those lures plural, the important thing is it's plural, those are the persons that are sort of dangled out in front in the hopes that, interested parties would take a bite at them. And then, of course, the FBI would reel them in and run them against the Trump campaign. So this is, deliberate, it's thought out. It's an effort to run or launch the operation overseas so they don't bump into legal requirements. You'll note that it's an offensive counterintelligence operation, not investigation, another important word, because a counterintelligence operation is not constrained by the same things as a legal investigation or a criminal investigation. This is very, very serious stuff.
Very serious stuff. And there was a response from Lisa Page to the, did you get all of the Oconus lures approved? Page responded, no, it has just implicated a much bigger policy issue I'll explain later. Might even be able to use it as a pretext for a call. As we are watching these two operate, it is pretty clear they're operating in a very select circle that they apparently seem to think, which they is centered upon certainly them, certainly on Peter Strzok. What are we to take from that?
We're taking that from very early on, back in December 2015, there's a concerted effort by agents of the FBI to apply intelligence tradecraft and intelligence operations to attack and undermine candidate Trump and now President Trump. It's indisputable. You can't go to the lengths they've gone to using the language that they have. And look, these are their own words. This is their communications back and forth. They were running an operation to undermine a candidate for President of the United States. They were seeking to have what is called undisclosed participation in a U.S. entity in the United States. These are all violations of law. This is not, a policy decision or, gee, somebody had bad judgment. This is intelligence tradecraft applied against a candidate to steer an election. There's nothing more grave when it comes to abuse of our legal and intelligence system.
And as we conclude here, what is to be done about Strzok? What is to be done by Congress about what now is before them in closed hearings, as well as in some documents of the millions that they've requested? The Congress is being stymied in its oversight role. There seems nowhere for them to go. What are the next steps, particularly as we see that this is a a significant operation that was designed specifically to undercut candidate Donald Trump and ultimately President Donald Trump.
This is a level of criminality beyond the pale. Look, the president needs to rip the lid off this, as does every member of Congress. Any person involved in any sort of an oversight capacity or any, management position, whether it's the president, the attorney general, whoever has any influence whatsoever, needs to rip the lid off this and make it public. This is such a grave abuse of power and authority. It's like nothing else we've seen in our history. This makes, the Nixon Watergate burglary look like Keystone Cop stuff. This is very grave, and the public has a right to know and should know as soon as possible all the details about this.